Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I think we're going to go ahead and, start the meeting off. Mr. Arturo's here with us, and he's going to be putting a chat box in case you need to ask any. We're going to do a Q&A session after we go over the parent handbook and the COVID policies, and then we'll do a different Q&A session at the end of the meeting after we've reviewed the schedules, the teacher, everything to do with the classroom. So go ahead and just type any questions. If you can't hear, you can type anything through there. So we're going to go ahead and start. I want to go over the parent handbook. You should have gotten an email last week. If not, you have the downloadable forms right there on the webpage. If you guys can open it or just follow along. I'm not going to go through everything. If not, we'd basically be here all night. But I am going to go over the most important sections. So the first one is the hours of operation. So we're open from 7 to 5 p.m. right now. And those of you who are BPK, you're looking to be the hours from 9 to 12, okay? Unless you have extended day. Everybody should also have their holiday calendar, which we sent out last week as well. Just make sure you're on top of the different dates that we're closed. We will not be closed this year for 2 weeks for December. So that's really good, I think, for a lot of parents. Just make sure you're on top of those dates. We'll always put reminders out. The tardy policy. This is one of the biggest areas that we want to touch when we're getting now into the staff in this class. Everyone has been amazing this week. Everyone's basically in before 9. But I want to make it very imperative because we do, we're still having arrivals at 9:15, 9:20, 9:30. But it is so important for the children, especially in this class, to come in before 9. Because at 9 a.m. we do the circle time. And the circle time doesn't just consist of, the ABCs or the calendar. It consists of a lot more social interaction. This is where we, go over everybody's name. This is where we greet. After the circle time, everybody goes to work, to their independent, areas. And we're not doing a lot of music and a lot of, different activities throughout the day, which we're doing in circle time. And in circle time, we're going over all the responsibilities, especially these 3 weeks of August is the most important because we're teaching all the primary lessons, especially my 3-year-old or 2.5s. It's so important that they're here for that because they're learning the basic Montessori lessons so they can get to work to the areas already. We don't have to pull them out, after they're already working. So please try to be here on time. We're not accepting anybody at all past 10 o'clock unless you have a doctor's appointment. And if you do have a doctor's appointment and if you think it's going to stretch into the 11 o'clock, just please, mark that day off because we won't take them in at all after 11. And then I'm going to go forward to the next page, notification of absences. It's so important for us to know because these little ones are going through so much, especially with COVID and everything going on. It's just so important for us to know why they're absent, when they're going to be in, so that way we can adjust to their schedules. That way we can maybe nap, well during the night. We can maybe put that down here. So just keep that constant communication flowing with us and with the teachers. And sick attendance and limitations. This is probably going to be one of the most important policies. We even make you sign an extra paper later in their enrollment form because, due to COVID, we just have to be so strict and we have to be so stringent on those little details. If you see, if you start seeing the boogies coming out or a cough, it's most likely that we're either not going to accept the child coming in or we're going to call for you to pick up and give them that resting period, until they're well again. Very, we're pretty strict with it, but it's even more so now with COVID because we just don't know. We don't know, it might just be the flu, it might just be allergies, and it might be anything, but unless we have doctors providing, that proof, we need to make sure that you guys are not coming in with cameras and then it's not getting spread over. So we just ask parents to be responsible on their side and keep them home if they know they're not feeling well. And just the same process as always, we won't prescribe any medicine here at all, and we will ask you to keep them home for a day or two if needed. Parent involvement. So we used to do a lot of parent involvement. Due to COVID, a lot of the events are getting canceled and they won't be coming back until it is safe to do so. So we are planning an open house that's going to be held virtual. We're still kind of, bringing all the details and the dates. We're looking into February, possibly posting, putting up a video throughout the morning so you can see what they're doing. So that's going to be really exciting. Moving forward into communication, you're going to be receiving a monthly newsletter that looks like this. Every month, it's going to go out through your email, and it's also going to go into the folders that week before the month starts. Super important that the parents are on top of this, because this is where we're going to send, basically the themes of the month is very important to saplings, because this is where you're going to be seeing a lot of them, where you can do the ideas for the show and tell. This is where you're going to see a lot of the projects coming from. This is where you're going to see a lot of the conversation taking place. So very important that you're checking out the themes of the month. For example, this week we had family, our new environment, and we asked everybody for a classroom picture. If you haven't brought one, I believe I have some missing because I don't have all the pictures up there. So bring those in so we can introduce our different families. We can put them up on our wall. If you haven't brought your supply list, please make sure to bring those in. I think tomorrow is the last day. And uniforms, we're getting back into uniforms. It was a super nice summer, but it's time to get back to reality. So any bottoms are fine, and closed-toed shoes, please, always. You'll also be getting a Friday take-home folder. That Friday has to come back on Monday. An important point I want to touch with the Friday folders, it's very important for us to get those back, because everything the children do here, it's for them, but a big part, it's for you. They make everything for you. They're so excited. So we don't feel it's fair to just, clip their papers together or put them in their bag and then they get wrinkled. So we don't see that folder coming back throughout the week. We most likely will keep the work here in their folder to send home, the next time we have a folder. So if you need a new one, just let us know. We'll make a new one for you if they get lost, if they get broken, whichever. You can follow us on all of the Facebook and Instagram, all the social medias. We'll take a lot of pictures. Parent-teacher conferences. We also put in those downloadable forms. We put something that says monthly classroom theme and topics. You'll be able to see here when we're going to have our conferences and when we're going to have our reports done. They are going to be virtual, or they're going to be over the phone. Depending, of course, how the year keeps progressing with COVID, but definitely to keep a good eye for those, and we'll send out a sign up, and you can just sign up for the different types. Show and tell. Show and tell is going to be only for the 3 to 6 environment, so this one, the saplings. Show and tell is a conversational area. It's very fun. I really do want to encourage parents to do it. You don't have to do it every week, but it's good that you do it a couple of weeks so the children can start conversating here in a circle about either the different themes. And you can, for example, let me give an example. If you go to this outline, in October, we're going to do my community. So you can take a picture of your neighborhood, or you can make a map of where you live and have them bring it in, and we will explain, and it can get our topics going. So that way we can relate whatever you're doing at home to what we're doing in here. It's great for vocabulary, for conversation, for self-esteem. It just works so many different areas. So I really want to encourage parents to bring things in. Please don't bring toys, things that, a lot of the times they just want something to bring. They just want something, so the girls will take off their bow, and they'll be like, this is my show and tell. They really want to join into this, and it's sad when they don't have anything for them to show, or when they bring in a toy and then we have to say, well, that's not really a show and tell, please go put it away. So just make sure, if you need any questions, email us. We'll be more than happy to share anything, any ideas for show and tell. The marking of belongings, super important. Everything goes back to COVID. Everything needs to be labeled. Tupperwares, cups, food items, Ziploc bags, clothes, anything that you're bringing in, because We have so many kids that, you know, sometimes you put in the same cups, we have two of the same blankets, two of the same sheets, so it's so important that if they do by any chance, children are putting everything away by themselves. So if they put it in the wrong cubby, if they put it in the wrong, you know, lunchbox, or they throw it in the garbage, sometimes they do that too by accident, we need to make sure that as teachers, we're being organized and we know where to put those things down. So just make sure we have a super good website here. Decoboot, those are the labels, they're machine washable. So they don't get out. Usually sometimes we don't bring something, we'll put a permanent marker, but it will wash off after a day or two, or it'll even wash off here. And then we don't know, you know, where to put it or where it goes. We already talked about the dress code. Lunch and snacks. So for those of you who were here for summer, we were doing a summer snack, but we're starting the school year. We don't tend to do morning snacks anymore unless you're coming in before 8. Before 8, you can bring breakfast and we'll serve it. But after that, we go outside, we get into circle time, we get into our work time, and unless you're leaving at 12 or you're having an early, you know, pickup, we won't do snack towards that area, because what happens is they'll eat the snack at 9, 9:30, 10, and then they won't eat for us for lunch. So just if you have any questions about that, please email us. We can, you know, see whatever we can do to make that adjustable for everyone. Then I have just a few more information on this. We're not free, so make sure all the snacks are coming up free, and then we don't microwave anything. Very important on this subject. If you're sending food, please make sure it's warm. I know sometimes, you know, kids, you think they might eat it cold, but they don't. They'll leave it in there. They don't want to eat it, and we don't have microwaves here. A good tip for that, for the thermos, if you can throw boiling water inside the thermos, and then after that, you know, dump it out, obviously, and put the food, it'll stay warm for a couple of hours. So that's a good tip. Snacks, try to keep it healthy. We really won't give out chips or like cookies or anything. You know, if you bring in a junk food, we won't give it out most of the time. So let's try to keep it healthy. Saplings eat lunch at 12:30, and then they'll have snack again at 3:30 when they wake up. Yummy My Tummy, we have a food program. We're trying to get it started in September, but we need a 20 student minimum to get it started. So please, it's amazing. The lunch is amazing. It is 110 extra a month. But you can pick, you know, whatever options you'd like them to eat. We can alter the menu, or you can just use my menu. But it's really fantastic. I love it. And then preschoolers, what you'll need to bring from home. You'll need to bring, some of the preschoolers still nap. So if you are looking to keep the nap in, please bring a sheet and a fitted crib sheet and a blanket. And then a change of clothes to be kept here. And then for our girls and some of our boys, please bring over comb, hair ties, and a hairbrush so we can comb the hair. We took out the toothbrush from this year due to COVID, but wipes are always good so we can show them how to wipe their face and how to keep their, you know, their daily routines as far as health practices go. For birthdays, so we used to do a super sun celebration, super special. We had the parents come in, grandparents. Obviously, we can't have anybody in school at the moment, but we're still keeping our sun celebrations. So before their birthday, 2 or 3 weeks before, you will always send you out a report. That way, our sun celebration PDF, so you can fill it out for us, send it back with a couple of pictures, and we'll do the sun celebration here. We'll take videos and pictures, and we'll send them over to you. That's it for the handbook. I just want to go over some of the COVID policies, and then we'll do the Q&A after that. You should have gotten these forms last week too. I'll start with the policies and procedures. So a lot of you already know, you have been coming for summer, but it's just very important that I go over these again. Masks are mandatory for all parents dropping off and picking up. I can't stress this enough. It just lowers our risk exposure by such a large percentage. Please make sure you have those on. We ask that parents limit your conversations when you're picking up. I know it's so difficult right now, and you want to know what's going on, and it's the first week, and for some of you it's the first time in school really with us. But it's, you know, when we're doing that back and forth for such a long time, the exposure also, the risk also goes up. So any questions that you might have, if it's a quick one, we usually don't mind answering, but please text us, email us, you can call us on the phone, anything that takes longer than 2 minutes, we most likely want to answer over the phone. And by no means, please don't take off your mask to converse with other parents outside in the parking lot. Super important. Children they're not required to wear masks inside the campus, mainly for the reason because we mix ages. So 3-year-olds are not really, parents don't, the CDC doesn't recommend them wearing masks at all. So it doesn't make sense to have some 4-year-olds wear it and not some 3-year-olds. But you're more than welcome to bring yours in, and if you request for us to have them wear it, we will remind them throughout the day, okay, to keep it on. So the drop-off, please have them here by 9. That's just one more thing, we have that in here. And we close at 5, so just make sure, you're doing no tactical pickup. Labeling as well, just make sure everything is labeled. And that's it. Everything else we went over on the parent handbook. And then now I want to go over the emergency procedures plan. This is what you're going to really need to go over because it's what we're going to do in case, we're living in a reality where, someone might get COVID, someone might, have it in the family. So it's very important that parents know what our procedures are and how to limit our exposure. One of the very, very important things I want to stress here, I know everyone is, getting tested regularly for work reasons, or if they're generally not feeling well, but if you take a COVID test because you have any doubt that you might have COVID, please do not bring the children to school, because what happens is you bring them, and while you're pending that test, which I know is just getting longer and longer, it used to be 5 days, now it's 7, it's going to 10, but if you don't know what that response is, and you bring them, then there's a possibility they may have it, and then there's a big chance that we may have it, and then it's just getting spread around the room. So I just want to stress that if you're pending a COVID test, please keep them home until you have that result. And that goes the same for anybody that's in the family, that's in the home, okay? Or if you've seen them and they have a COVID test and now you're not sure, if you have it, and just reach out to us because we have a lot of, we're in a lot of conversations with the public health department and with DCF, and they tell us what the risk exposure is. When we have a case, we'll call them immediately. They ask us all these questions and then they tell us what to do. They tell us you either close the classroom, you close the school, you send the parents, so please just call us. Even if you have a doubt, call us, we'll call them, and we'll make sure we just do the right thing for everybody. Another super important topic here is the exposure plan. So I just want to go over what's going to happen if somebody is suspected to have COVID or does have COVID. First, everybody's going to be alerted immediately. All the families, even if it's the middle of the day and we just found out, everybody's going to be alerted. And this is if somebody is staff members, if it's the staff member at school. Everyone is going to either be asked to pick up immediately, or we'll just tell you we're going to close after that day. The school is going to follow plans for closure. If it's just one room where the exposure might have been, then we're just going to close that room for the time that we need to. If the whole school has been exposed, then we will follow plans to make the school closure. All the licensing and health officials are going to be contacted immediately. And after we assess the risk of exposure, we're going to send an email, let all the parents know. Everyone is going to get, if you've been with a person who had exposure for 15 minutes or more, or exposure without a mask, you're going to get notified immediately. And the campus, everything is going to be deep cleaned. And then after that, we're going to follow plans for reopening. So we'll be in contact with you throughout the whole way, but it's just, I can't stress enough how we're working. We have to work together during this time because we're it's such a virus that can get spread around so easily. So if we're negligent, if we're not responsible in the actions that we're taking, then we don't want to try to do that. So please just keep up with your responsibilities. Don't attend to outside. Don't do birthday parties outside. Don't engage in big public things that we're not supposed to, because it's not only your life that's being put at risk now, it's everybody's. It's teachers, it's staff, it's parents. And I'm pretty much done with this topic.
Okay, so let me unmute myself. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so here we are. In the name of the new generation of Montessori, first of all, I want just to welcome you to this school year. It has been a very interesting and challenging year, but also it allows us to take the best of us. And it's incredible how the little ones start to adapt to the new situations. And trust me, we are on this together. And we are always trying to do our best effort to stay safe. And as Vistania just mentioned, I believe that it is very important that we have to be wise on what are we doing. Because COVID is not going to end just because a decree that someone said, okay, now everybody can go out. Okay, everybody can go out, but we have to be careful on what are we doing. How are we exposing ourselves? How are we exposing our families? And it's only about just common sense. Common sense. And that's part of Montessori education. We always try to put the little seed of common sense in the little ones. So for us, we are really excited about this new year, about the new challenges, but overall, we are excited about the development of the little ones. That is our heart, that is the core of what we are doing. So, Ms. Tanya, if you want to continue, let me.
Do you want to do the Q&A?
The what?
The Q&A? Question and answers?
Oh, yes, yeah. Right now, we have the chat open. If you have any questions, there is a button to click. You can type any questions. If you believe that you can explain yourself better, we can also open you. But we prefer to have real questions. So, here we are. We will meet the new UK teacher tonight.
Yes.
That is the question from Sam. Hey, Sam. How are you, Sam?
I was just about to get in that. So basically, I want to talk about this, but I'm super excited. I decided to take over the classroom for the time being, and I can't tell you how excited I am. I mean, I told half of you already that I saw you today. I've been here for such a long time. I'm actually trained in 3 to 6 Montessori, which makes me say I was a teacher for a couple of years, many years at Pompano. I was a teacher here for a little bit. So it's just so exciting when we come back in. I love kids, I love my babies. Most of my kids had 7, 6 or like 2. So it's going to be super amazing, super exciting. And I mean, you know, I'm always going to take contact for everything. And doing their conferences and everything.
Okay, Laura is saying that it's a really hard for her to hear. Well, try to increase the volume of your camera. Okay, that is a little echo. Maybe because I have to mute my camera. Is too close to the other camera. So, okay. And if you can come a little closer, just a little, tiny. Yeah. Come a little closer, yes. Okay, and let me readjust your camera. We'll make a little zoom back with you. And okay, there you are. Okay. Okay, there is a little echo.
Okay. Any more questions?
Okay. The young lunches you mentioned, we need 20 people. Will you reach out the people who used to do it to confirm they want it again? Well, let us know. If you don't get 20 people for next month, you can tell me. I am excited for to get those back. This is Samantha.
Yeah. So basically what's going to happen is if I don't get 20 people, which is seeming a little bit unlikely, they're going to raise the delivery prices, is what they're going to do. So we can still have the lunches in if you really, really want them, but they're probably going to have an extra fee. I can email them this week and see what those fees are. And if we are able to pass those down and at least we'll take care of half and the parents will take care of the other, we'll work it out that way. But that will just be up to the parents. Because right now, so far, I really only do have 6 and I have reached out to everybody who used to do it. And hopefully we'll just get more. But our numbers are really low as a school. So it's not looking likely to get them all totally.
Okay, Sam says, okay, thank you. Okay. Any more questions? Any more questions? Hello, hey, how are you?
So we can just jump in. Any other questions we can do at the end of this Q&A, which I'm sure we're going to cover. We also put this schedule in, so you can download it as well. We're going to go over this. We're going to go over the themes and the topics, and the newsletter we've already touched a little bit. But before we get into that, I just want to let everybody know, like I mentioned earlier, me and Ms. Marcela are going to be taking over this classroom. Ms. Marcela, you want to come say hi?
Yeah, you can remove your masks now. We are safe. So.
Hi everybody, we are super excited to have you back with us. Thank you so much for all the supplies, and I know this is going to be a great year with Ms. Tanya, and we are super excited.
Thanks, Ms. Marcela. So if you don't already know Ms. Marcela, which I'm sure you do because your kids talk about her nonstop, she's going to be in here mostly afternoons too, and in the morning helping out a little bit. So between me and Ms. Marcela, we're going to just take charge of this classroom. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. I always tell you guys that when I do the tours, that this is my favorite room. It's like my favorite ages. I love all the areas. I wish I could have you in to show you the different, all the different things that we have in here, but everything that we've done throughout the break. We have our practical life, mathematics, sensorial, language. Our geography is new, so it's going to look amazing. Our botany and our physical sciences looks amazing too. We'll be posting pictures too as we start getting into the lessons. But it's, I think it's going to be an amazing year because we started so small. The kids are amazing, and they've been with us for so long, so it's just, they're already super used to the classroom. We're going to jump, a lot of the kids are PPK, a big majority of the room. So we're going to get straight into where they were last year. We have all the reports, and we are going to be having conferences. September is going to be a lot of, so August is going to be a lot of review, getting to know the classroom, the peace and courtesy, grace and courtesy, and then after that in September, we're going to jump into our areas, and it's going to be a lot of observation for that month. Okay, we're going to be observing, seeing how they're doing academically. We're going to be taking the BPK assessments. After that, we're going to get into our conferences, so it's going to be October the 5th through the 16th. I'm going to be sending out emails so you can sign up, and that's where we'll get to not only review the BPK assessments, which are very important, but we're also going to do all our Montessori progress assessments, okay? And we'll be able to discuss everything social, social, emotional, and all the different areas that we touch here in the room. And our next conferences are going to be February 15th through the 26th. Those aren't as mandatory as the first and the third, but it's very important for parents to also sign up for those because you'll get to track their progress mid-year. So if you see that, they're not progressing in a certain area, or if they need more work in a certain area, then we can address those during that time and then finish it off with the school year. And our last conferences are going to be in May 17th through the 28th. He's got a lot going on. I don't know how everything's going to be going on, with COVID, but hopefully if we can do a graduation, we will. If not, we're just going to have to do a drive-by or a different kind of graduation. And our Mother's Day celebration is going to be on that month as well, our Teacher Appreciation Week. So it's going to be a fun month. And then after that, we'll just get into our summer program again. And I wanted to touch on the schedule. So we go back to our 9 o'clock. They're going to be coming in, so 7 to 8, like I said, it's going breakfast, and then from 8 to 8:30, the ones who are here are going to start working on the lessons. We're going to start pulling out the light. Our BPKs are going to start pulling out the more intricate lessons. And then after 8:30 to 9, we're going to do a little playground time because that's when everybody kind of gets in. Once we have everybody in, we're going to come in at 9 o'clock and we're going to start circle exactly at 9 o'clock and it's going to end at 9:30. That's why I say it's so imperative to have everybody here at 9 o'clock, please. After that, we're going to go into our uninterrupted work cycle, which is going to be from 9:30 to about, usually for the beginning of the year, it's going to start about 2 hours, 11:30, and as the year extends, it's going to get a little bit longer. So probably 11:45 to 12. After that, we'll go a little bit outside again if we get a chance to. As the year progresses, we'll most likely cut out that outside time, and we'll just work all the way through. And then we'll have lunch, 12 to 1 is lunchtime. Those who nap are going to go to sleep from 1:30 to 3. Those who don't nap are going to stay up with us, and we're going to go, the BPKs will mainly go back into their areas if they didn't finish lessons, but it's going to be a lot of the curriculum work as well. So we'll get to do like our art lessons, we'll get to do the theme of the month, and then after that, we'll do snack time, 3 to 3:30, 3:30 to 4, we'll go outside again, and then after that, it's going to be more relaxed. We'll bring out the Legos, we'll bring out puzzles, we'll do music, we'll do circle time, so it's going to be a little bit more of a fun time because everybody's coming out of it. Do we have any questions on any of that material?
Okay. Lauren says, thanks. I believe there is no questions. Can you explain the work cycle a little more?
Of course. So the work cycle, Montessori is very independent. We don't rotate the children around in different areas. We treat them depending on where they come. Once we do that month of observation in September, we're going to see where their needs are. So if I have, for example, if your little one already knows, say, for example, numbers 1 through 20, we're going to move straight into 20 to 30. So depending on, and the same goes for language, for geography. So during those 3 hours, we're going to move around the shelves. The older children, the BPKs, it's a lot of independence in the curriculum, yes, but the BPKs are a little bit more structured as to where we go with the area. So for example, the little one, the BPKs, I'll let them work with practical life throughout the morning, but once we get into the work cycle, they'll have options. They can either work in language, they can take a lesson from language, or a lesson from mathematics, or from geography. And that's the way they'll be able to assert their independence in the environment. It's not, I know Montessori gets a lot of misconceptions that children can do whatever they want, or they can work with whatever they want. Trust me, I won't have your BPK sit in practical life for 3 hours. That's the way, we'll get on either, if we feel that she needs to work on language, we'll give her 3 options from language, and she can assert her independence, and she can make her own choice, and she can have freedom of movement and freedom to use the lessons within guidelines and within boundaries and limits. So the work cycle, it's basically they'll just rotate around the areas while I go around and teach the lessons. So I'll go around and I'll teach a lesson of mathematics, and then I'll leave them to finish it off, and then I'll go with another student and we'll finish, I'll teach another lesson, and then we'll move it around. Sometimes I'll grab a group of 2 and we'll do either like the multiplication tablets, and then I'll leave them off to do the paper and work around the room. And you'll be able, when we get into February, I would love, if we can do it sooner, we will, but I would love to set up an open house, virtual, so you can see exactly how those 3 hours work and how we rotate around the room.
Okay, Ben is asking, can there be a short bio and picture of each teacher and a staff member, trying to learn who is who? Okay, so that is,
Yeah, so we've got, so me, I'm going to be tired, I'm going to be hanging out with the little ones in the morning. I was a Montessori child, so I've been in Montessori for 27 years now, and I did my 3 to 6 Montessori training. I did it probably around 6 years ago now, and I was working in a 36 classroom for those 3 years, and then
I did move into the administrative side, obviously, as many of you have seen. I'm the admissions director for the schools. I've been a director. I was a director over in our Pompano campus for 2 years. So I basically know all the ins and outs of all classrooms. But I love the greatest things. Like I'm always in here. I'm always, whenever someone is absent in here, I'm in here. Because I love working with kids. I love working with the kids. I love seeing their progress throughout the year. And
Okay, so one of the things. Okay, one of the things about Miss Tania, well, I believe she's one of the oldest Montessorians in our family, because she started as Montessori as a little one, now is a director. So she's really humble, but she has a great development and a lot of learning. And she is also part of our team. We are going to publish in our website photos of our current staff, and the bios. We always try to keep that a little private, just for security reasons. But right now, I believe that we are going to find something that is good for everyone, so you can know who's who. And on the distance, maybe we can create a private directory of our staff so you can meet them. And anyway, we are always available via phone, via email, even smoke signals.
and Ms. Marcela, she's been with us, a lot of people already know she just came up here. She's amazing. She's been working with us since we've been open for almost 2 years now, and she's just finishing up with her degree college. She's got her certificates here too, and I do as well. I mean, I have the director's credential certificate. We've got CDAs, bachelors, so it's just, the Montessori, I think, is what's more important here, that we're following in those footsteps for Maria Montessori, and that we're following those guidelines, and we're growing with the children, and that we're not only here to watch them, we're here to follow their progress and see what they need and be able to give them what they need at the moment that they need it. And I think that's what's most important with us here, because we truly, we care about the children. And of course, we have our other staff here. Once, he puts the bio, you'll be able to see it right now on the campus. We have Ms. Paulina, who's working administrative. I'm going to be doing administrative as well throughout the end of the day. So you can always reach back to me with emails. And then Ms. Betty is our Sprouts, and Ms. Milkmaid Ednix is our Sprouts Montessori as well. And then we've got Ms. Ilda in our sequence. Okay, so as the year goes on, we're hoping to get all our staff back where we used to. So always, as the year progresses, it's such a different time, I think, than it used to be. We used to have so many people here. So we're just, we're working through it. We're trying to see what's the best way for you, for the children, for us, like the virtual that we just, that we've never done it like this before. So hopefully it's going well. I've only got a few parents signed in, but it's important that they're here, because it's so much important information that we used to do, and we used to walk you around, and it was, really cool. But we're just going to have to do things differently now, and it's a learning process, not only for you, but for us. The children adapt so quickly and so easily, which is, we don't that fast, because we're just older, we're so used to the way we do things. But so I think that as long as we're honest, and that any problems that you have, let us know. We can work it out. We can figure out to see what's the best way to do everything for everyone during this time. And as soon as the year starts progressing and we see how COVID stuff, there's going to be new things coming in and old things getting pushed out. So we'll just keep emailing. We'll keep that constant flow of communication. And I think that's the best way we can do it this year.
Okay, we have another. We have another question from Lorraine. Sorry if I missed this. Beyond observation, I think you say there were formal assessments too?
Yeah. So we're basically, the observation period, because we used to do assessments in September. But since this year got started off a little late, and a lot of our kids are coming in September, obviously COVID, that 1 month we used to do conferences right in the middle of December. But now it doesn't give us enough time to do that observation. So once we do all those observations, we see where they are academically, socially, emotionally, in all these different areas. We're going to start doing our works, and then formal assessments are going to be given to you on those weeks. Whenever you sign up for a meeting, we're going to be emailing you BPA, so you're going to be getting BPA resort, BPA assessment, as well as Montessori assessments. So we'll send out those, and then we'll discuss together.
Okay. And one other thing that I just want to mention is something else that
No, just so you assessments, as I mentioned. Obviously, being contact with if you have a question about something academically, something socially, please let me know. Let me know. I'm somebody that is interested. Let me know. I have no issues showing up. I have no issues giving you a call, emailing, whatever you need. If we need to go on this earlier than those days, we probably can to schedule it. If you need to do one after that meeting to address any other different area, we'll do it. So just being
I'm so excited about this new year. We have great expectations for the things to come. And just a little background for the new families that don't know much about who we are. Okay, we are basically a family that started Montessori since my firstborn was 3 months old. He's now 34 years old. So, we got involved into Montessori. We love it, and it was basically our way of life. In 2013, we launched our first campus in Pompano Beach. 2017, we opened this campus in Delray Beach, and yesterday we just opened a brand new campus in West Palm Beach area. So, if you also want to know more about West Palm, or you have friends or family that live in that area, we are also providing a $100 referral fee. Yeah, if you send someone to us, well, you will get a $100 discount in your tuition. That's the way that we always start growing our campuses, by parents' recommendations, because today on the media, between the fake media and the real media and the who knows media, we don't know what is real. But what really people trust is when another parent speaks about something that is good. So we just want to thank you for that. And Ms. Tanya, you want to say something else?
No, that's not most of our parents. Honestly, I think down this year, if not all, were referred to by somebody. So it's just, you guys are an amazing group of parents, an amazing group of students. I was so excited to come back to the classroom, and I was telling Mr. I'm like, just put me in there. And I wish things were different with COVID, and I wish it was regular, and I wish people were more involved. But it's going to be amazing. Don't even worry. You're going to have a lot of fun. I'm a talker. You've seen that already when I talk and everything. So I'll get that constant communication, and I love your kids. I don't know if they love me, they don't want to tell us, but it's fine. We got it out this year. But thank you guys so much for being here. Please don't forget to email us and get us questions, me, and then I'll see you.
Okay.